What if the quietest gesture, witnessed by only a few blurred lenses and startled fans, revealed more truth than any public confession ever could? It happened in the most ordinary of places. An airport terminal designed for movement, not memory. A space where stories usually begin or end without ceremony. Yet on this day, amid rolling suitcases and echoing announcements, something unexpected unfolded. Something so brief that it almost escaped notice. Almost. This story isn't over. Subscribe so you don't miss the next chapter. We follow the moments and emotions of your favorite K-drama stars. Stay with us. Lee Min-ho and Song Hye Kyo arrived without spectacle. No announcement. No prepared smiles. Just two familiar figures navigating a space that has so often exposed more than it should. Security moved ahead. Fans gathered at a distance. Cameras lifted instinctively, as they always do. And then, for a fraction of a second, time seemed to hesitate. As they paused near the terminal entrance, Lee Min-ho leaned in. Not dramatically. Not hurriedly. Just enough. His hand shifted slightly, creating a shield more felt than seen. And in that narrow pocket of space, away from the sharpest angles of the lenses, he placed a gentle kiss on Song Hye Kyo's forehead. No performance. No acknowledgement. No reaction meant for the crowd. Just a moment. Those who saw it were unsure at first. Was it real? A trick of perspective? A misinterpreted movement frozen by expectation? But then the footage surfaced. Grainy. Unsteady. Taken from afar. Yet unmistakable in its intimacy. The internet did what it always does. Slowed it down. Zoomed in. Replayed it endlessly. But even in repetition, the gesture did not lose its power. If anything, it gained weight. Because this was not the kind of moment meant to be seen. A forehead kiss is not loud. It does not announce passion or claim ownership. It is protective. Familiar. Tender in a way that assumes trust rather than spectacle. It is a gesture often reserved for private spaces, for moments when words are unnecessary. And that is precisely why it landed so deeply. Lee Min-ho did not look around afterward. He did not adjust his expression or acknowledge the sudden stir among nearby fans. He simply straightened, resumed walking, and placed himself once again between Song Hye Kyo and the cameras. The choreography felt practiced, not for performance, but for preservation. Song Hye Kyo's response was just as telling. She did not flinch. She did not smile for the crowd. She did not look surprised. Instead, she continued forward with the same calm composure she has mastered over decades. A composure that suggested the gesture was neither new nor unusual. That detail changed everything. Because surprise can be staged. Familiarity cannot. For years, audiences have speculated about the nature of their connection. Professional respect. Long-standing friendship. Shared history within the same demanding industry. Each explanation offered something plausible, yet incomplete. This moment, however fleeting, felt different. It did not ask to be analyzed. It asked to be understood. Airports are among the few places where celebrities are caught between roles. Not fully public, not fully private. It is where masks slip not because of carelessness, but because fatigue lowers the walls. In those spaces, truth emerges quietly. Those close to the scene later described how quickly it happened, how easy it would have been to miss, how those who noticed it did not cheer or shout. They froze, as if instinctively aware that they had witnessed something not meant for them. The aftermath was immediate and restrained all at once. No trending hashtags pushed by official accounts. No follow-up sightings staged to confirm or deny. Just fans sharing clips with hushed captions, as if raising their voices might somehow break the spell of what they had seen. Industry observers noted the contrast. In an era where even rumors are leveraged for visibility, this moment was allowed to exist without amplification. No denial. No confirmation. No attempt to reshape the narrative. Silence again. And silence, in this case, spoke volumes. This was not a gesture designed to persuade the public. It was not a message. It was a habit, the kind that forms over time, through shared experiences that never make headlines. through mutual understanding forged under pressure and maintained away from view. The kiss did not claim anything. It did not define a relationship. It simply revealed care. And perhaps that is why it resonated more deeply than any announcement ever could. Because love, when it is real, rarely introduces itself. It reveals itself in small, unguarded moments, in reflexes, in choices made without calculation. As they disappeared beyond security, the terminal returned to its usual rhythm. Flights boarded. Announcements echoed. The crowd thinned. Yet something lingered in the air, difficult to name but impossible to forget. Not excitement, not shock. Recognition. Recognition that some stories unfold not through declarations, but through instinct. That some truths are visible only when no one is supposed to be watching. And so the question remains, long after the footage has been replayed and dissected. If that single, gentle gesture was never meant to be seen, what does it tell us about everything that happens when the cameras are not there? What followed was not outrage, not denial, not a dramatic unraveling of carefully guarded images, but something far more unusual in the modern celebrity world. Acceptance. The footage did not explode in the way scandals do. It did not carry the sharp edges of accusation or controversy. Instead, it spread softly, almost reverently, passed from fan to fan like something fragile. Many who shared it added no captions at all, as if words might intrude on what had already been revealed. Because this was not a moment that demanded explanation. It was a moment that invited reflection. Those who have followed Lee Min-ho's journey recognized something instantly. The gesture was not impulsive. It was not youthful bravado or theatrical affection. It was measured, protective, the kind of affection that comes not from infatuation, but from familiarity, from knowing where someone stands without needing to look. Song Hye Kyo's stillness after the kiss became its own quiet statement. There was no startled reaction, no visible shift in energy. She did not pause. She did not acknowledge it. She simply continued walking, as though the gesture belonged naturally in the flow of her day. And that is what unsettled and captivated audiences the most. Because extraordinary moments usually announce themselves. This one did not. Industry insiders, careful with their words, pointed out something that fans felt instinctively. When affection is staged, it seeks visibility. When it is real, it seeks privacy. The forehead kiss did not turn toward the cameras. It turned away from them. In the days that followed, attention turned backward. Fans revisited earlier sightings, older interviews, fleeting interactions that once seemed insignificant. A hand placed subtly at the small of a back. A shared glance held a second too long. The way Lee Min-ho often positioned himself slightly ahead, scanning crowds before Song Hye Kyo moved forward. At the time, these moments were dismissed as courtesy, professional respect, coincidence. Now they felt like continuity. This was not a beginning. It was a glimpse into something already in motion. Airports, as it turns out, are not just places of transition. They are places where the boundaries between public and private thin. Fatigue lowers defenses. Routine replaces performance. It is where people revert to habit. And habits reveal truth. What made this moment linger was not the act itself, but what it suggested about everything surrounding it. That there exists a version of their lives untouched by speculation. That there are spaces where gestures are exchanged without fear of interpretation. That intimacy, when protected long enough, becomes instinct. Still, no statements came. Their agencies remained silent. Schedules continued. Projects were announced and promoted with professional precision. On the surface, nothing changed. But perception did. The narrative shifted from wondering if something existed to wondering how long it had existed. From asking whether it was real to recognizing that it had never needed validation. Observers noted a subtle calm in subsequent appearances. A grounded quality. Less guarded, not because there was less to protect, but because protection had become mutual. Quiet. Efficient. And perhaps that is the most revealing part of all. This was not a relationship unfolding for the public. It was one that had already chosen its distance from it. The forehead kiss did not demand belief. It did not ask permission. It simply happened, briefly, imperfectly, and then disappeared into motion. Like many of the most meaningful moments in life. As weeks passed, the footage stopped resurfacing as frequently. It became something fans referenced rather than replayed. A shared understanding rather than an obsession. A moment that belonged to memory more than media. And yet, it refused to fade completely. Because in a world saturated with declarations and displays, that single gesture stood out for what it was not. It was not loud. It was not strategic. It was not consumable in the usual way. It was human. And that is why it endures. Not as proof. Not as confirmation. But as a reminder that even under constant scrutiny, authenticity can still slip through in the smallest of ways. A lean forward. A moment of shielding. A kiss placed gently where it was never meant to be seen. And when the terminal doors closed behind them, taking the moment out of sight, one truth remained unmistakable. Some stories do not need to be told loudly to be real. They only need to be lived quietly, even if, for just one unguarded second, the world happens to be watching.